The goal of any job recruiter is to try and hire the best candidate for the position they're looking to fill. Each recruiter will have a different perception on what makes the perfect candidate for a role, but typically, it seems to me that there's three main things which they all collectively look for. Thing 1. Cheap. As you would expect, companies want to spend the least amount of their budget possible, and because of that, will certainly look to nab the ideal candidate for the minimum amount. Fair enough, but in an ideal world, this should be a two-way conversation. Instead, it's often a one-way street most of the time. If someone has the audacity to question their predetermined figure, they're going to tell you to bounce, lad. Most companies won't even share their salary offer until you're pretty much through their entire interview process, which at that stage, you're far less likely to reject their role despite the pay because you've gone through all that effort to get close to the finish line. In addition, there's somehow this negative stigma around a candidate being upfront and asking about how much they will in fact earn for a role. My guess would be that if they sense you have a slight bit of respect for yourself, you could end up causing revolts within their organisation. Thing 2. Experience. All companies want to hire an individual who will be able to carry out their roles and responsibilities. However, companies tend to go a bit overboard with the qualifications required in order for someone to even apply for the role. In reality, if a role requires, for example, 3 years' experience to carry out, the company will likely recruit for someone with more than this experience, for example, 5+ years experience. Why do they do this? Well, simply put, all companies want better than what they need. If someone possesses the experience which they ask for, which in this case would be 3 years experience, they'll likely delay communication with this individual until they've pursued all those with more than this 3-year experience benchmark. Furthermore, even if an individual is overqualified for the position they're recruiting for, they will likely not increase the seniority of the prospect's role nor the salary of the position itself, even if they meet the upgrade mark. Why? Because, in their mind, each candidate is a dime a dozen. What's advertised is what you get. If you don't like it, see you later, kid. And thing 3, the right personality. If you thought the first 2 areas were pushing the envelope, would you believe companies are also now requiring for candidates to be emotionally stable? Having experience and being able to fulfill the job's responsibilities is no longer enough. You have to fit the right character mold. I can only speculate on what this means, but my guess is being someone who will put up with their BS with a smile on your face. In today's world, there's even online assessments which have been created to test whether or not you're a nutjob. I'm doomed. So, to conclude, the ideal candidate, it seems, in the minds of job recruiters and companies alike, would be someone who will work for the minimum amount, has more experience than the job requires, will work in a position which is probably labelled as junior when the tasks you'll be doing are at the level of senior, and, on top of all that, be emotionally stable. Talk about limiting your options.